Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Master Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. Yes, we love when you guys are here because we always have a good time, right? We're always coming up with something fun for you guys to enjoy. Great guests, terrific conversations, inspiration, and anything else that we can deliver to you. That's what we're all about. This is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series and one we started some almost 500 episodes ago, which I still can't believe. That is a heck of a lot of talking we've been doing. But this is a fun show. It's not just an interview show where we just do interviews. You can be interactive. You can comment right now and share it. You can also share the links and just have a good time. We're always learning. We're inspired. We have great guests that come in from Broadway and Hollywood and television, film, music, science and nature, as well as health and wellness, comedy, sports, culinary arts, you name it. We feature them all here. And again, I do this work professionally in television and radio. You guys already know that. We've mentioned that multiple times on this series. And this is an extension of that work. And man, have we had a great time. We have met so many incredible people and all of you. I just want to take another moment to thank all of you for all the levity. That's right. That's a word that is sort of now branded with the Jim Master Show Live. As you guys know, I came up with that word last summer and it just became part of the entire show, the vibe, the feeling, the positivity, and everybody just sort of adopted it and fell in love with it. And the show has a lot of that levity on it. The guests love it. The viewers love it. I love it. And it's really, really cool. So we always have a good time here, wherever you're watching from, whatever time of day it happens to be, because we have an international audience and they watch literally from all around the world, morning, noon, and night. They binge watch our episodes. They're all there for you on our YouTube channel. I mean, we're talking about some almost 500 episodes we've done just about 7 days a week, which is extraordinary. And we thank you for all the loyalty, the support, bragging about the show, sharing the levity, sharing the links, doing everything you're doing to spread the word about our series, which we do as a television show. Think of this as a television show that just happens to be right now coming into your life online. Because of my work in television, we sort of present it as a television show with variety and great guests and interaction and all kinds of cool things. It's almost as if you guys are our studio audience. Think of it that way. You're the studio audience participating and enjoying, and we all learn something too. So I hope you're doing well. I hope your day is going well. If it's not, you guys know this is the place. JMS Live is the place to come to get a smile on your face, a laugh or two, great entertainment, whatever else, again, we come up with for you here on our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. So nice to have everybody here. Thanks so much for joining us, and we welcome everybody. You can comment during the course of the actual broadcast, and your comments will be in the chat section there. We appreciate that. We also invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's big time for us. A lot of you say, well, how can we help your series? Well, the series has grown by leaps and bounds exponentially, which we love, and we appreciate that as people discover it and enjoy it and share the levity. But if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, that helps us too. And also make sure that you click that icon that says notification bell. It's a little icon there that's it looks like a little bell. That's next to the word subscribe. Subscribe doesn't mean you're paying for anything. I know they call it subscribe. I don't know why they say that, because it really isn't, not really subscribing. You're sort of following. You like what we do. But click that red word that says subscribe on our YouTube channel. That way there, you're following along with us. Also, the notification bell lets you be notified on all of our episodes. Sometimes we do surprise pop-up shows that we don't even announce. Sometimes we take you on location. Sometimes we do holiday theme shows. Sometimes we do 2-hour shows about food. Whatever it may be, you'll be notified. And also give this episode and all the episodes of JMS Live a hearty thumbs up. We love it when you give it a thumbs up. That's big time on our YouTube channel, of course. I know you like to chat during the live chat. We love that. But after the, the fact is really important too. or even during the show, give it a thumbs up on YouTube and leave a nice comment for us. We would really appreciate that. You know what happens when you do that? YouTube sees it and then they take the episode and boom, they blast it out to the world even further than it already is, which is around the world. So we'd appreciate that. And to those of you who have done that, we thank you very, very much. It's always nice to see you guys doing that. So we welcome you morning, noon, and night. It's cool to have you here. We've got an amazing guest who's coming in right now from New York City. Yes, Adam Shapiro is in the house. Well, actually, is in his house, but he is with us on this episode. Brilliant actor and singer extraordinaire. If you're familiar with him, then you've seen him in a lot of different projects. He is an award-winning actor and singer, has performed all over the country and the world in both English and Yiddish. That's right. Off Broadway, Adam has been seen in Bastard Jones and so much more. Death of a Salesman. He's also a regular performer with the National Yiddish Theater's Folksbiene. Now, of course, you know, we've had representatives, Moulton and many others who have been on our show from that wonderful organization and theater company. He's appeared in The Golden Bride and so many others. And, of course, the off-Broadway production of Fiddler on the Roof in Yiddish, where he played the rabbi. That's right, and understudied Tevye and Laser Wolf. In television and film, audiences may remember Adam from the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Master of None, Friends from College, 30 Rock, Adam Sandler's The Cobbler, and as Bella in HBO's Emmy-winning film The Normal Heart. Additionally, he's performed regionally on cruise ships and as a MAC award-winning solo performer. He's been a vocalist on several albums for Stage Stars Records and is currently working on the new EP. But also, he's got something that just came out that he's excited about, and we're very, very excited about. His debut single was Warm as Winter. That came out in 2019, but he has done something really fun called Still A, live from Shapiro Hall, which he has produced with his roommate, award-winning performer Janice Hall. We're going to show you a clip of that as well. And he has got a new CD out, gang. He's got a new CD out. And there it is. You know, isn't that cool? Now, we talk a lot about Lovity here on the Jim Masters Show Live, right? What a perfect name for that CD, Let Love In. And we're excited to have him as we let him in from New York, live and direct. Our great friend, Adam Shapiro, is joining us here, and we're very excited to have him on the show. And he's excited to be here. Hey, Adam, so nice to have you here on the show. Just looking
Hi,
at
Jim. So nice to be here.
Yeah, we see your left hand, and we love the cover. And there he is. There you are. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jim. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic. Congratulations on the album. That is something really exciting. I know you're all stoked and happy about that. That's truly been a labor of love of sorts, hasn't it?
A labor of lovity, if you will.
A labor of lovity. You got it down. You got it down. That's you like our lovity theme here
I
on
do.
The show,
I really like that word. I think I'm going to start using that word in my life.
That's it. Exactly. JMS Lovity. Nothing like it. So the album, we'll step back in time a little bit in a second, but just congratulations on the album again. And tell us about it. That's something that I know has been, again, you know, something you've been working on for a long time. It just came out recently.
Yes, about 3 weeks ago.
I know, it's sort of hot off the presses here. Yeah. What was the inspiration? I mean, the timing of it is ideal for everything we've been going through lately in our lives. Was that part of the inspiration as well?
You know, it's interesting. I started the album while I was doing Fiddler in Yiddish. And I, for a long time, had been wanting to do my own album or do my own EP. And I ended up getting hooked up with this producer named Phil Carroll, who has a group called Recording Artist Development, or RAD, because he's rad.
Yeah.
We had worked together on a live performance, and he said he wanted to talk to me about doing an album of my own. And the more we talked, the more I started realizing that I wanted to sing songs that were about possibilities and the idea of love being all around us, not necessarily just the romantic love that we see so often in movies and TV shows and books and magazines and basically everywhere it's thrown at us.
Right.
But the idea that love takes many forms and is available to us, at all times. And I had heard this song, the title song, which was written by Matt Sklar and Amanda Green for Broadway performer Alexandra Silber, who I've known since I was 16. And the song was called Let Love In. And it really speaks to the idea that knowing how to receive love is just as important as knowing how to give love.
Yes.
And,
yes.
it's not always the easiest thing.
No. Now, are you good at receiving it, or do you prefer giving it?
I'm better now. I'm better at it now.
At receiving it?
Yes.
I'm in your camp. I'm better at giving it than, or I shouldn't say the word better. That's kind of a word that it should be more. It comes to me more effortlessly and easier to pour it out. And sometimes you feel a little awkward or when you receive it. I mean, it's beautiful when you receive it and you honor it and you respect it and you love it. But it's just, if you're always the giver, the caretaker, the doer, the one who wants to make sure everybody else is good, and you enjoy doing that, sometimes when it flows back, you're sort of like, and you know what's good about that? What's good about that? That also keeps ego in check, because there's plenty of people out there who receive it, and they never give out any.
Yeah.
They're just, sucking you dry.
Exactly.
They're taking it all, and they want all the love, and they want all the spotlight, and they want all the attention, and they're number one and everything else, and they don't give any. So there's that flip side too. So, I mean, absolutely. I'd rather be the giver, but I've learned to receive it without it feeling like you're greedy or egotistical or any of that. And now, I don't know if you're like me. I used to have, when I went on airplanes and they said, put the oxygen mask on you first, I would always cringe. I still a little bit, because I want to put it on the person next to me first and then put it on me.
I just cringe because I really don't want to have to use the oxygen
at all. That would make you cringe, because that usually means there's an issue with the engine, and we might be
in trouble.
But usually, yeah. So now I understand. You have to put the oxygen mask on. I have to put it on me. You have to put it on you. Our viewers have to put it on themselves, and then help thy fellow neighbor type thing.
Exactly.
So we're kindred spirits in that way. And I'm fascinated to know how you learned to accept the love, to receive it. And did people think that you weren't appreciative, or?
It's very interesting. So a big part of my journey on learning how to receive love and just learning how to love much more openly. I started attending retreats at this wonderful LGBT retreat center in upstate New York called Easton Mountain. And they've been around for 21 years, if I remember correctly. This was their 21st birthday. And they just do all sorts of different retreats, and they're all, sort of mind, body, spirit connected. And in 2012, I met someone who's also a singer-songwriter and whose song I have on my album. His name is Freddy Freeman, and he lives and works up at Easton Mountain. And so in 2013, I went up there for the first time, and it's beautiful. First of all, it's tucked into the Adirondacks. It used to be a ski lodge.
What time of year did you go?
I went in the fall, which is my favorite.
I mean, that's
my favorite time of year to be outside.
Now, yeah.
Oh, I love it. And suddenly I was in this place where it felt like nothing was really expected of me. I didn't have to perform. I didn't have to be sort of on, if you will.
Right.
And I started meeting people on this sort of deeper level, and sharing how out of the ordinary it was for all of us, and it allowed us to connect on a much stronger level. So I started going back, and I've been going back now. I'm not great at math, but I think it's 8 years, a few times a year, and continued doing these retreats and meeting all these people, and I've become a facilitator for their Bare Your Soul retreat, which is for bears and those who love them. For any lovities who aren't familiar with the term bear as it applies to the LGBT community, for lack of a better term, it's a gay man that looks like this. Is bigger and has a beard usually. Although we like to say bear is a state of mind more than a look. So, but it's just wonderful. I've made some of the best friends I've ever had. They've helped me sort of embrace the concept of how much larger love is than just the idea of romantic love. And, they've really helped me sort of embrace my power to love, and to love with my music and with my performing. And it's really exciting. I actually did the debut concert for Let Love In at Easton Mountain.
Wow.
And I had a live audience of the people who were there. Thank you. And then, we streamed the concert for everyone else. And it was just wonderful to do it there, and wonderful to have a couple of Easton people who were, who contributed to the album. Freddy Freeman's song. Freddie's husband, Jay, who's one of my dearest friends, designed my album cover. So and that's really one of the big things that's helped me learn how to be able to receive love, is the idea of knowing that love doesn't, someone said love's not like a pie, where when you give someone a piece of pie, there's one piece less. It's not like that. It's constantly replenishing. And receiving it doesn't mean that someone else is being denied it.
Right.
And it's just, you've heard.
Is that how you used to think?
I think a little bit.
I know with me, when they say, and it just happened recently because the birthday was just not that long ago, I would always be, I'm trying to think if I did this as a kid too. When they would say, okay, they slice the cake, or they have you slice it, and they give me, and now it's my birthday, and yet they'll give me the first slice. I'll be getting ready to slice it and hand it out to everybody else. And like, no, it's your birthday. You sit down, we'll slice it, and you get the first piece. And I'll be like, no, you guys take, and then I'll take, what's left or whatever. Now I understand, hey, what it is? It's your birthday. Right. Have the first piece. It's okay. Exactly. And everybody else in the room is okay. And everybody else in the room wants you to have the first piece. Sometimes you could be, if you don't have the first piece, you could be taking away their joy or their pleasure of wanting to make sure that you get the first piece, because you're always making sure they have it.
Exactly.
So you've learned that.
I've learned that. And I hope to an extent that that's something that the album does, is sort of communicate that message. Actually, the last lyric of the title song says, love is the current that lights up the world, but love only works if you let it.
Did you want to, some of the viewers love when guests do this. I know we didn't talk about this in advance. Did you want to just share a little bit, maybe a cappella of one of the songs or something? Goodness. Just a little bit, anything that
Definitely
comes to
not
you?
Warmed up, but well, the the lyric I was just referencing, and again, this is from the title song, Let Love In by Matt Sklar and Amanda Green. The last lyric of the song is, I'm gonna choose a more comfortable key at the moment. Pour your heart into the life you choose. Don't be afraid to begin. Love is the current that lights up the world, but love only works if you let it. So let it. Let love in.
Very nice. Very nice. Now they got a taste of the sound of the voice and what they can expect with the CD. And, you know, to pull it off a cappella ad hoc like that is not an easy thing. So, hey, congratulations and kudos to you for doing it. You knocked it out of the park there.
Thank you.
Now, how did you grew up in Indianapolis, right? In Indiana? Small boy, you know, heads to the big city, small town boy, hometown boy. Tell us about that. What were some of those inspirations in Indiana for you growing up that put you that that could go another direction the way you said, oh, I mean,
no.
no. Oh, let me think about that.
My, no, I honestly really and
Family,
truly,
friends, were you surrounded by folks in the family that were entertainers? Or
not
so you were the breakout.
I had one member of my family, my mother's sister, my Aunt Debbie, was a singer. She's still around.
Yeah. Was could be a scary word.
But
she's gonna call you and say, "Wait a minute, I'm still here."
I'm still here. But she had a wedding band and did various concerts and everything. She was certainly an early inspiration, but I got to be completely honest. My earliest inspiration was Muppets Take Manhattan.
Really?
Muppets Take Manhattan
and
came out when I was very young, and it was the first time I'd heard the word Broadway.
Did you identify with a particular Muppet?
Oh, all of them to extent. I mean, Fozzie's the bear.
Yes. Yeah.
Miss Piggy is the glamorous one.
Sure.
And of course, Kermit's the leader of the group. So
if the Muppets can take Manhattan,
exactly.
So Adam.
Well, it's the first time I ever heard the word Broadway, and the whole movie they're saying we're trying to get to Broadway, and then at the end they do this big spectacular performance with costumes and scenery, and I just remember thinking as a very young kid, I don't exactly know what Broadway is, but if that's Broadway, I want Broadway.
Now, was there anything like a mini Broadway or theaters or things in the area there?
We had, so Indianapolis has two touring houses. So we would get national tours, which my parents would more actually as I got older. My parents would take me. My grandmother would take me. We had a couple of community theaters in Indianapolis. I started at the theater camp. They had a theater camp back then at the Jewish Community Center, the JCC. So I was, I started going there when I was 9. I was Muttle the Tailor when I was 9. I was Rolf in The Sound of Music when I was 10. So that must have been like the most Jewish Rolf ever. Like the guy who becomes a Nazi played by the little Jewish kid. I don't know. I don't know. But then again, we were mostly Jewish. So, and then I was very lucky to go to a high school in Indianapolis with a fabulous performing arts department, North Central High School.
Made a big difference, right? Yeah, inspired you.
And they did, great full productions, 3 a year, 1 musical, 2 plays. We had one of the nation's first show choirs.
Really?
Actually, which was wonderful training because it taught me how to sight read. It taught me how to sing and dance. together at the same time, taught me how to be part of an ensemble. I was very, very lucky to have access to that program and some really wonderful teachers.
So that was inspiration for you. So you were participating in plays and
all
theatrical productions there.
Gobbled up as much as I could.
Were there opportunities for you there to get involved in things larger, or was that not until you made the move to New York? And did you make the move straight from Indiana to New York, or were there other places in between?
I'll tell you the one. So there was one time that I actually got to be involved with something on a larger scale. So my senior year of high school, we did Fiddler on the Roof. This show has been a touchstone for me in life.
Yes, it has.
And I got to play Tevye, and as it happened, MTI, Musical Theater International, who licenses quite a few of the big musicals, they have what they call their Broadway Junior Series, which is condensed versions of certain shows meant to be done by middle schoolers, elementary schoolers, somewhere in there. As fate would have it, and I don't know if they still do, but they used to record their demo albums for those shows at a studio 20 minutes outside of Indianapolis.
Wow.
Why? Couldn't tell you. But as it happened, they were getting ready to cast for their Fiddler Junior demo album when we were doing our production. So they sent someone to see it. And a bunch of us ended up getting called in to do a recording audition. And I ended up getting Tevye. And so to this day, if you request the materials for Fiddler on the Roof Jr., and you listen to the demo album, 17-year-old Adam is Tevye.
Wow. That's amazing.
And it was the first time I got paid to sing. It was the first time I ever recorded. And, I'm 17 and I'm like, I have arrived. And I haven't even graduated high school yet.
Wow. So you set your sights then on the big city.
It was great. And I ended up going to college in Indiana at Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana, which is where David Letterman went to school. That's how most people know Ball State.
Right.
If they know it at all.
Right.
And it was a great program, and I got to do some professional work during the summers at summer stock theaters, theme parks, sort of, cut my teeth on some professional work. And then I moved to New York 3 months after I finished college.
What was that like? Were you nervous?
Yes. I was just talking to someone about this the other day. I remember so I moved out here, and I was moving alone, and my mother came with me for 3 days when I first moved out here. My dad had come out here with me a few weeks earlier and helped me find an apartment. And then my mom came with me to help me clean it. This is my mother. And it was really great having her here with me for the first couple days, so that I didn't have a panic attack being like suddenly alone in the city. But I'll never forget September 3rd, 2004. We had woken up, had breakfast, and then I called her a car to go to the airport. And I remember standing in the middle of 26th Street in Astoria, which is where I still live in Astoria. And I remember standing in the middle of the street, just watching until her car was out of sight, and just standing there, just thinking, So what do I do now?
This is it. And
It
she
was, yeah.
drove from Indiana?
No, she flew.
She flew.
So
She
she
was
was
going to the
going
airport.
to the
Yeah.
airport to fly back.
But
And,
now you're in the big city
this
and
this thing I had talked about my whole life, moving to New York and being an actor. It was like, wow, now it's time to put up or shut up.
Mhm.
And
What was the first move you made?
well, that night, the first move I made was to go to a friend's apartment and have a drink. Um,
A welcome drink,
I needed
housewarming.
that. And I think for the next couple weeks, it was about finding a job to make some money and buying some furniture and what have you. And then I think about 2 weeks later, I went to my first audition and I botched it completely.
What was it for? Do you remember?
Yeah. It was for what was it? Yes, it was for the off-Broadway show, The Awesome 80s Prom.
And was there a role that you were auditioning
there was
for?
like one. There was like one role in the show that I said,
yeah.
I could maybe do that.
Yeah.
And I had, a monologue prepared and the stress got to me and I blew it.
Nerves, yeah.
And I called my best girlfriend, Kirsten, and I said, "Oh, Kirsten, I just messed up so bad." And she said, "Well, listen, I'm at I think it was Chelsea Studios.
Yeah.
And I'm, online for this other audition. There are no guys here. Get over here." And I said, "Oh, I'm not in the mood." And she said, "Get over here.
Get here now."
And
Stat.
and it was like, "Oh, okay, you're right. So I went, and this one I got to sing at, and I got a call back. And I'm very grateful to Kirsten, who I'm still very good friends with, for sort of kicking my butt that day and saying, that was one audition, get over it, get to the next one.
Just get to the next one. What happened from there?
I didn't end up getting that job, but
it was a good experience.
It was a good
experience. To get the rhythm going, right?
It was for a traveling children's theater group.
Oh, wow.
Which I ended up doing quite a bit of for a while, not with that company necessarily, but I did meet someone who I have been friends with ever since from that audition, because we had to team up and do a hip hop rendition of Old MacDonald Had a Farm.
You don't remember it, do you?
Oh, it was, I can't completely do it.
Do I need to do a beatbox or something?
Well, someone did. It was three of us. It was this one young lady who could do beatbox, me, and then Rebecca, who ended up becoming a very good friend of mine. And so I would sort of take the lead, and I'm like, I say, "Yo, old MacDonald, he had a farm, say it." And then she would like Mariah Carey, the E-I-E-I-O, and the beatbox girl got the job, and the two of us, and we commiserated over it, and we've been friends ever since.
That's what it's about, right?
Yep.
It's all life experiences. You talk about your experiences in life. Mm-hmm. So then here you are, still in the big city in New York. Take us through some of the things that, what would you consider like one of the bigger breaks for you in New York when you were called in for something that then took you to the next level?
Well, what I didn't realize at the time was going to really be that for me was when I auditioned for the National Yiddish Theater Volksbühne.
Yes.
It's interesting. I had been in the city for 4 years at this point, and I had just gone through a big round of callbacks for what I was sure was going to be my Broadway debut. I won't say what the show was, but suffice it to say, I had to do a lot of dancing. And I did. And I danced my tushy off. And I was sure that it was going to happen. And then it didn't happen. And so again, there was this feeling of like, well, what do I do now? And because I was very depressed over it.
You were really counting on that.
I really was. I was already mentally scheduling my fall around being in production. So then when that didn't happen, I'm looking at auditions and I'm just going, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? And then I see this audition for the Volksbühne for a play called The Marriage Contract, Die Kasuba. And now I remind everyone, I am from Indiana. So while there is a sizable Jewish community in Indianapolis, Yiddish was not a presence at all in my childhood. We knew a little bit of Hebrew, from bar mitzvah training and everything, but not Yiddish at all. But something inside me just said, well, you're Jewish. It's in there somewhere. You had ancestors.
Bring it up.
Yes. Right. Figure it out. So I got the material, took it home, study. They had a pronunciation guide that I could listen to. So I just studied it for 2 days. And then I went in and I did the audition. And I didn't end up getting that first show, but I did a pretty damn good audition for someone who had never spoken Yiddish in his life, save for the occasional oi. And I remember walking out.
Occasional oi.
Calling someone a rude name that happened to be in Yiddish. But I remember leaving that audition.
Just so you know, non-Yiddish people use those Yiddish words too.
Oh, I know. I know it. But so I remember leaving that audition and thinking to myself, whether I get this or not, I'm really proud of what I just did.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm going to keep them on, in the back of my mind. And turned out the feeling was mutual, because about 4 months later, they called my manager at the time and said, we're doing a new musical this winter and we want Adam to come in for it. And what I didn't realize that meant was that they wanted me to come in for the lead.
Very nice.
I went in and I did an audition, and right away I got a call back, came back in, read with 2 different women, got another call back. And by now I had gotten to read the whole script, which they always, the way they do it is they have, the line written in Yiddish transliteration with the English translation right under it.
Right.
To make sure you know what you're saying.
Exactly right.
And I went in and I went in for that final audition, and I had to do a monologue. Oof. And so I kind of stumbled through it, and they said, okay, now do it in English. And I said, oh, I speak English. Okay. So I did it in English, and they said, now try it in Yiddish again. So I tried it in Yiddish again, and it wasn't perfect, but I got through it. And then they were chatting with me, which I wish more creatives would do in auditions. I wish there was a little more
feedback. Yeah.
And I said to them, I was very upfront, and I said, this is an incredible play and an incredible role. I would love to do this show. I just need to be completely honest with you that I've never spoken Yiddish before, and you would be starting from scratch with me. And they just looked at me and they said, we know. We can teach you.
Right.
And I got the part. And 2.5 months later, I'm on an off-Broadway stage reciting my opening monologue in Yiddish.
That's incredible. What was that feeling like for you, Adam?
Initially terrifying, and then more empowering than I would ever have believed. Like the idea that I could communicate a role in a language that at that point I really still didn't speak at all. and realizing that I could actually communicate a role in another language was unbelievably empowering. It was really, when I went into it, I sort of had this this idea in my head of, well, if I can do this, I can do anything.
Yeah, which
And
is a beautiful thing to experience, isn't it?
yeah, and it was marvelous. And people were asking me afterwards, I would have people pulling me aside in the lobby and said, let me ask you a question. I heard that you don't actually speak Yiddish. Is that true? And of course, I think I'm going to be chastised. And I'm like, yes, actually, that is true. And they go, well, you could have fooled me. And I do that voice with the utmost affection.
Yeah.
And it was just wonderful. And I said, I want to do more. I want to keep learning. I want to, it would be a shame to stop after only one. And now I certainly, when I did that first show in the theater at the JCC in Manhattan, which is where they were at the time, had no idea how big Yiddish was going to be in my career. Certainly had no idea that 10 years later, Yiddish Fiddler was going to come along and be kind of everything you could ever want from a run of a show in New York.
Yes. Yeah. Which is quite an amazing thing. And congratulations on
Thank
that,
you.
because I know it was, something very, very special and near and dear to your heart. We have a clip actually, Fiddler on the Roof in Yiddish. It's sort of like clips sort of compile as like a promo piece. For those who didn't get a chance to see it, I know that rave reviews, many nights, like sellouts. It was extraordinary. It had never been done this way, I think, before,
in the
United States, right? So it was quite an undertaking, and it was very well received. And I saw it, and it was fantastic. Everybody knocked it out of the park. Tell us a little bit about it before, for folks that are watching in other places around the world who aren't as familiar with the fact that this actually came to pass.
Sure. So Fiddler on the Roof was translated into Yiddish in the late 60s by Freddy Freeman in Israel. Right. And this was a period of time when most Jews in the United States and Israel were really sort of pushing away Yiddish. They said, this is the language of the oppressed. This is our past. And in the United States, we're going to embrace English. In Israel, we're going to embrace modern Hebrew. So no one really, was that interested at the time in a Yiddish translation, even though this was the language that the characters in Fiddler on the Roof would have been speaking. So in recent years, the National Yiddish Theater had really been sort of rising in their profile and in the scale of shows that they were able to do, particularly when they moved into the Museum of Jewish Heritage in Battery Park. They suddenly were able to do much larger shows. And so finally, everything sort of fell into place to allow them to mount the first American production of Fiddler on the Roof in Yiddish, and they were able to get theater legend Joel Grey,
yes,
to come in and direct it. And of course, even before I knew about Joel Grey, as soon as I heard they were doing it, I said, "Oh, I have to be in this. I have to be in this." I did everything but beg. I might have begged a little bit, but and so I was lucky enough to get cast in it. And originally it was only supposed to be a 2-month run at the Museum of Jewish Heritage. It was going to be a summer run, 2018, 2 months, and we're done. And then we sold out the entire run before we opened.
I know that.
And, once that happened, really, there was no, it would have been foolish to close.
Yeah.
But luckily, we were able to, extend at the museum. And it was just, I have 2 terms for Fiddler on the Roof in Yiddish. The first one is, we are the Hanukkah miracle of musical theater.
Yes.
Because we thought we only had enough show for 2 months, and it lasted for 18. And the other thing that I call us is Dayenu, which is something a word we use at Passover, which means it would have been enough. Because even if it had just been that first 2-month run, it would have been enough. It was just so exciting to get to do this show that is so familiar to so many people.
Yeah.
In a language that made it somehow both old and new at the same time,
which is incredible.
Oh man, and to work with Joel Grey and everything, and then just more good fortune kept raining down on our production. First we extend downtown, then we extend again, then we get to do a cast album, then we get Uptown producers who decide that they're going to move us up to stage 42 in Midtown, and we make the move, and then we win the drama desk, and we have all these amazing celebrities who came to see the show, and it just fortune really shone down on our show. And it was incredible. But again, even if it had only been that 2-month run, Dayenu, it would have been enough.
Yeah.
And I played the rabbi, or derov in Yiddish, and got to understudy Tevye and Laser Wolf, knowing full well in that first 2-month run there was no way I was going to go on. But then we extended, and suddenly I had dates, and there I am. There's Matevya. He ain't 17 anymore. But that was that, and that was from my first time going on in the middle of Rich Man, and it was, what a day! What a day! What a day! What a day!
Were you thinking also probably of the original, the Zero Mostel and all the others involved in the original that everybody is so familiar with? I bet, there's some weight that you place on your shoulders of carrying on something that is a beloved production literally around the world.
Well, and not to mention our Tevye, Stephen Skybell, was tremendous. One of the best Tevyes that I've ever seen. So having to live up to him was quite something.
A lot.
But at the same time, there's also the sense that you're standing on the shoulders of everyone who's done the role.
Yeah.
And I never got to see Zero Mostel, but I got to see Theodore Bickel twice do Tevye, and I got to see Harvey Fierstein do Tevye on Broadway, and I thought he was phenomenal. And I saw Danny Burstein do Tevye, and I've seen, of course, I'm well acquainted with the movie. And so, I sort of knew the foundation of the character, and then got to, so I knew I had all of that supporting me. And then I, got to add my own little flavor here and there, my own little pinches of seasoning.
Let's take a look at that clip right now. Again, Fiddler on the Roof, Yiddish, really an amazing broadcast, but an amazing production that we're sharing here on the show. Enjoy, folks. And we'll be back with our special guest, Adam Shapiro, coming to you from New York City. 3, 2, 1.
a Fiddler Affendag. Met Schilge, nein? Aber bei uns in Anatevke ist jeder einer an Fiddler Affendag.
She's a muzzle jeden, was wir senden da. Es hat der Pole, was der Mechatolim, durch ein Michelina, muzzle die Geschah. Mit Madelon, mit Broche und ewig, Jesus soll hier sein. Und heute der Muzzle ist mit Parus, nach was geht's für uns, alle drei. So sei!
Really, really fantastic. I tell you. Lots of love, lots of joy in that performance, huh?
Big time.
Wow. Gee. And again, the roar of the crowd. Talk about the roar of the crowd. People just absolutely fell in love. Do you think it will come back?
Who can say?
Who can say? That?
We closed before the pandemic started, so it's not like we were not a casualty of the pandemic. With that said, we were intended originally to do a little tour, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that would still happen.
Right.
In the next year or two. I have I don't know.
We shall see, right? We shall see.
This isn't even I have information, but I can't tell you I have no information.
Now, during the pandemic, you were doing something really fun. Tell us about this project you were doing with Janice. We have a little clip here we're going to show.
Okay. So when we realized that the pandemic was not
just on a weekend only.
Exactly. This idea that, no, this is not going to be 3 weeks.
No.
I said, okay, I need something to do. I need something to create. And I had been doing video work over the last 5 years, just for myself, for my own YouTube channel. And I said, let's do something with that. And so I went to my roommate, actress, opera singer, award winner, and birthday girl today, Janice Hall, and said, I have a proposal for you. What if we did essentially a special, like a variety special in the style of Carol Burnett, Sonny and Cher, the old variety shows. We'll film everything. I'll edit everything. We'll make sure that everything sounds good and sounds, even, and we do fun background work. And I think at first she thought I was nuts, but she said yes. And what happened was this series of 4 specials called Stilla Live from Shapiro Hall.
Now tell us, there's a reason, and you're in Shapiro Hall right now.
I am
tell the audience about why it's Shapiro Hall.
Well, because I'm Adam Shapiro and she's Janice Hall.
Right.
So all we had to do was put our names on the mailbox, and our apartment named itself.
And I'm Jim Masters, and this is Lovity Hall.
Exactly.
As commissioned by the viewers.
Perfect.
They were the ones who said that. Yeah.
I agree with the viewers. And we initially only planned on doing the one, but we ended up doing 4.
It's nice, yeah.
And we were
A lot of work, isn't it? Everybody,
a lot of work.
It really is a lot of work.
But it gave us something to focus on besides
Right.
what was going on.
Well, the reality of the day to day, right? The day to day,
and
exactly.
we were able to really to sort of push ourselves and try new things, and we were able to integrate guest stars, you know, who would film themselves, and then I would edit it all together and
pop in, right?
Really, they ended up being very well received, and we had a lot of fun with them.
Let's take a look at a clip from it right now here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Enjoy, everybody, and then we'll be back here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and click that notification bell and leave a comment as well on our channel, and also give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying this episode and all the episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Okay, now from Lovelady Hall, we take you to Shapiro Hall.
Quarantine's lonely, it sucks, and I hate it. It's just like some terrible joke.
No dating, no touching with 6 feet between us, and everyone's practically broke.
I'm bored with Zoom meetings.
I'm bored with press briefings.
And desolate grocery shelves.
I'm bored with hand washing.
I'm bored with Cuomo.
But mostly we're bored with ourselves. I hate you.
I know. I hate you too.
I know. Looks like we're stuck with each other, of all the luck. Stuck with each other, nowhere to go, and so we sit and curse at the weather.
Nothing to do, what's worse, we have to do it together.
Fed up with Trump and all the others, fed up with life and one another. My dear, it's clear we're in a rut, but what can we do? Like glue, you're stuck with me, and I'm stuck with you. Hello, I'm Adam B. Shapiro.
And I'm Janice Hall.
And we've been quarantined together for almost 3 months.
Seems like 3 years sometimes.
So we decided to put together this little something special to give us something to do, and hopefully to give you a smile, a chuckle.
And a reason to live.
That too. Living together like this, it's hard sometimes just to find some space. So, if you'll excuse me, you know what? I'm just going to go into the other room and watch RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, I love Drag Race. Can I come too?
Oh boy, we're stuck. Stuck with each other.
Oh, holy stuck with each other.
If I should climb up to the roof to gaze at the view there, I'd only reach the top and stop, and there would be you there. We're getting tired. We're getting grouchy. Facebook and booze and Dr. Fauci. But still and all, we're all we've got, so what can we do? Like glue, you're stuck with me, and I'm stuck with you, and I'm stuck with you. That was the one that started it all.
That was the one that started it all.
I haven't watched that number in a long time.
It's a lot of fun, right? When you get a chance to do stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
And you and Janice, again, are good friends.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's wonderful to have an opportunity to do something like that. We have some cool photos that we want to show and sprinkle into the mix here,
Okay.
Adam. One, of course, is from that series.
Oh, that was from our second special, which we called "We're Still Here."
We're still here.
And I love that shot.
I like this promo shot too.
Oh,
What was happening here?
So that was at the LGBT Expo that I performed at in 20. I'm gonna say 2017
Mm-hmm.
with Broadway Sings for Pride,
Mm.
a group that I've performed a bunch with, and doing. I love to pair leather with sequins, have a little bit of both sides. I think it's so. I've joked with people that that's going to be the title of my autobiography someday: Leather and Sequins.
I like that. And now we have another great shot here I want to show everybody. Well, of course, this is a great headshot.
That's my headshot. Joshua Brown Photography.
It's cool stuff. Does very nice work. Here's another great shot.
Oh, that was for oh, what magazine was that for? I hate that I can't remember. I think it was A&U magazine, where they had me on to talk about the Normal Heart movie.
Yes, absolutely. You've also had opportunities to work in television as well and film. Tell us about some of that work. I mentioned, in the brief introduction, some of the projects.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy doing that as well?
I love it. I was so focused on just theater for so long, and I never really considered doing a lot of television or movies. And then The Normal Heart happened, and
Yes.
that was if for those of your viewers who might not be familiar, The Normal Heart was really the first play ever produced about AIDS,
Mm.
off Broadway in 1985. While the AIDS epidemic was really just beginning in its worst form. And Larry Kramer, famous writer and activist, wrote The Normal Heart, and it premiered off Broadway. And finally, 25 years later, HBO decided to pick it up and do it as a movie. And I remember thinking, when I heard that, I thought, oh, great, I'll finally get to see it. Because I hadn't seen, they had revived it on Broadway, and it had done incredibly well, and I hadn't gotten to see it.
Mm.
So I thought, oh, great, I'll get to see it. And then I opened my email one day, and I have an audition for it. And I had a new manager at the time, so I called him, and I said, how did you possibly get me in for this? Everyone's trying to get into this. And he said, did you read the breakdown? And I said, no, not yet. And he said, read the breakdown. And they had added a character for the movie. They had added several, but they added this character named Bella. And I read the description, and it talked about, big, bearded, dirty sense of humor, gregarious laugh, I just read this, and I said, oh, that does sound like me, doesn't it? Oh boy. And
that role was made for you.
It really was. And forgive me, I have a contact coming on. And so I went in, and I was just thrilled to get the audition. I didn't think in a million years I'd get the part. And then I got the part, and I realized I was going to get to work with Mark Ruffalo and Julia Roberts and Jim Parsons and all of these, A-listers in their prime.
Yes.
And I was just like,
yeah,
truly.
That's a real pinch me moment for sure.
I mean, I have acknowledged many times that I was so spoiled having that be my first film role.
Very important.
It was such a wonderful, beautiful experience. And we happened to be filming a big disco fundraiser scene on the day that the Defense of Marriage Act was repealed. It was such a major day.
Yeah. Ironic timing, huh?
Oh, so ironic. And Larry Kramer was there that day. And it was a great day. Great.
30 Rock too.
30
what was
Rock
that like on NBC?
30 Rock was fun. 30 Rock was fun. I got the part because the line had originally some Yiddish in it.
See, yeah.
And then by the time I got on the set, they had replaced it with fake Yiddish. My line was, if I remember correctly, my schveltz is filled with spoinkus. Those are not real words. But it was a trip. Tina Fey was lovely. Tracy Morgan is crazy, and I mean that in the best way. Never got to meet Alec Baldwin. He's the one that wasn't on set that day. But it was fun, and it made me it made me really interested in doing more television.
Yeah.
It's particularly interesting to be a guest star or a day player on a show that's sort of in its, I'll say after its first season.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like you're trying to jump into an already started game of double dutch.
Like a tight-knit ensemble and theme, right. And now
you're just there for the day, and you get to glimpse this world. It's very different when you end up on a show in its first season before you know anything about it. Best example I have of that is I got an audition for this show that I wasn't even sure how to pronounce, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And all I know is that all I knew was that the family was Jewish, and they were in synagogue because I got hired to be their cantor and sing in Hebrew. See, who knew that Judaism would be such an asset? I had no idea.
See? What goes around comes around.
Oh. Isn't that the truth? And, so I got to go in and be on that set with Tony Shalhoub and Maren Henkel and Rachel Brosnahan, who I didn't know at the time, because the show, we were filming season 1. The show hadn't come out yet. And then it came out, and it was so wonderful, and people loved it, and I was so thrilled. And then they invited me back for season 2 to do another scene in Temple. And the hilarious thing was that I did that. This was right after Fiddler opened.
So this is like
I filmed
a whirlwind going on for you.
So I basically, on my day off from playing a rabbi, I played a cantor.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's It's like, do we notice a theme here, folks?
Well, I asked
but just to have both things happening at the same time, you must have been like, "Woo, wow, oh my god!"
Talk about feeling like you've arrived.
Yes.
About it. That was an amazing time.
Yeah, but now you're a lovety on the Jim Master Show.
Now I'm a lovety on the Master Show.
Talk about arriving. As we always say on the show, there's Peabodys and Oscars and Emmys and Tellys and Tonys and Grammys and everything else. And now when you're a lovety on the Jim Master Show, most people say their feet start tingling. Are yours tingling right now, Adam?
They are. They are. And I have a blue pedicure and everything.
Yeah, the viewers have said he's a lovety. Welcome to the lovety family, and we love that. And that's what it's all about, truly. Some wonderful experiences that you've had, and again, you've loved the ride all the way through, which I think is really, really cool. We got another shot we want to show here too, Adam, which I think is really cool. This is at the MAC Awards.
Oh,
yes. Now, for folks that might not be familiar with the Mac, I'm obviously familiar, and the other thing too is you and I think it's been like maybe a degree of separation minimally, because we've been at several of the same events in New York and dinner parties, productions, whatever it may be, and know a lot of the same people too. In the industry and out. For those outside of the region who don't know what the MAC Awards are, tell us about that. And then you, of course, won.
The MAC Awards are the MAC stands for Manhattan Association of Cabarets and Clubs. And the Mac Awards are the main awards for New York cabaret.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's a lot of stiff competition too.
lot of competition.
And you won this for?
I won that in 2013 for Musical Comedy Performer of the Year. I was very excited that it was for my show Guide to the Perfect Breakup, directed by Peter Napolitano, musical directed by the late great Barry Levitt.
Yeah.
And we performed at the Duplex, and it was a show that I really had a great time working on. It was an idea that I had for a long time, being as I've been off to say, chronically single. And gone through all manners of weird dates and bad dates. And I've, as far as breakups, I've been, as I called them in the show, I've been both the dumper and the dumpy.
So we will see you on The Bachelor next season?
Hell no.
Or on Love Island?
I would go on Lovety Island.
Lovety Island, yes, that's Lovety Island.
But so I loved the idea of getting to take sort of my experiences and come up with this rule book, as it were, to help people through their breakups, whether they're the dumper or the dumpy, and end it on a wonderfully hopeful note. And I was just really thrilled how people responded to it, and
cool.
And then I was thrilled to win the Mac Award.
To win that award, yeah.
That was really exciting.
Here's another shot.
Oh, that was from the Mikado.
Yes.
So in 2016, late 2016, I got cast by the New York Gilbert and Sullivan Players as one of the Cocos. They double cast it in their new reimagining of the Mikado, because they had finally sort of realized that there was a lot of stuff that had conventionally been done in the Mikado that was no longer acceptable. A lot of racial stereotyping and stuff that isn't in the script, ironically, but has historically been a part of most productions. And they decided that they wanted to really do a new production of the Mikado without all of that, because the Mikado can stand on its own without all of the racist stuff. I'm a big Gilbert and Sullivan fan, and I've always loved the Mikado, and so I was thrilled to get cast as Coco and I got to write my own list.
Wow!
You remember Coco's song, "I've Got a Little List"?
Yes, right.
And someday it may happen, and they had both of us write our own lists to be a little more current. And what did I remember I had something in there about Hamilton. Oh gosh, it's been a while. I have to remember. There's the writer whose new musical is praised throughout the land, which nobody can see because tickets cost about $1,000. That always
how true that
always got a good reaction from the audience.
Yeah. And then, of course, again, sort of full circle here today on the Jim Masters Show Live. Mm-hmm. That album, where can people find the album at? Is it Amazon and all the usual, Spotify?
Yes,
iTunes,
it is available on all digital music platforms: iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon. There are several more that I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's up there too. And it's really, I'm so just very, very proud of this
Proud
piece.
of the whole, right. Yeah.
So thrilled that I can showcase all of these writers, because some of the songwriters, basically all of the songs on the album have either never been recorded or only been recorded by the songwriter.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I'm the first one to cover a Freddie Freeman song. I have a song on there by Peter Napolitano and Barry Levitt. I have a song on there by Jeff Thompson and Jeremy Desmond, who are two of the best they're one of the best composing teams, in my opinion, working right now. I love them. Nicholas Levin, who's a wonderfully talented songwriter, the son of Ira Levin, who wrote Rosemary's Baby and the Stepford Wives. And he wrote the song Warm as Winter, which is on the album, which I also released as a single in 2019. Philip McLeod, wonderful. And then, of course, Matt Sklar and Amanda Green.
Really fantastic. Again, congratulations on that, my friend. Really, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Kudos to you. You obviously love what you're doing. What else? Anything coming up that we can look forward to with Adam Shapiro?
A couple things that I can't talk about yet.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. I just filmed a pilot for what will hopefully be a new series. And again, I can't give titles yet. But,
coming soon.
Let's just say it is highly likely that you will once again see Adam B. Shapiro back on television in 2022.
Fantastic. Obviously, there's a lot of blessings and joys in our lives, and we're getting to do work that we both love doing, and is a reflection of who we are. And there's variety every day and excitement and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. None of it comes easy. What are some of the things that inspire you to continue doing what you do, Adam B. Shapiro?
There's this kind of sense of duty in a way, particularly over the last year. Let's face it, this last year and a half was rough.
Yeah.
It was something none of us sort of ever saw coming. And
the only people that could have scripted it, I say, Rod Serling, George Lucas, Stephen King, or Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
It's about it.
That's very fair. That's very fair. With a score by Danny Elfman, I think.
Yes, that would be accurate. Yeah.
But
maybe Hitchcock could have thought of it too.
Yeah. So, when the pandemic hit, it was this idea of, well, what do I do? Again, like this constant thread, well, what do I do now? Yes. And, realizing that there were things that I could do, specifically the Shapiro Hall series,
right, to
both give myself the opportunity to keep the creative muscles flexing, and at the same time, offer a little love and a little levity and a little distraction, and just try to be this little bit of light in an otherwise very dark world.
Exactly.
And it really did, it then came back around to me, because I got to do online projects with the Folksbiene and with Manhattan School of Music and with MAC. And it was the idea of the world adjusting.
Yes.
Adapting. And
to a new way of living.
I really must. I have to commend particularly the Folksbiene, who you wouldn't necessarily expect a company that's been around for over 100 years to be one of the first to make the leap to an online platform, but they were.
Right.
I did a living room concert for them, an online living room concert for them, I think about 3 or 4 weeks after, everything shut down.
Yeah.
And then they hired me in December to direct a big online show for them. So now I have, a directing credit for them. And
Which
it
is
really,
fantastic.
it was so exciting. And while, I'm chomping at the bit to get back into a rehearsal room with a cast and creatives, and I can't wait to be back on a TV set, surrounded by people. I gotta say, we were able to make some great art this last year.
Absolutely.
We were able to make some really cool things happen that I think are going to stick around.
Mm-hmm.
I think are going to change the landscape.
This series, playing off my work in television and radio,
Absolutely.
was born during the beginning stages of the whole pandemic situation. And people have asked me, will I do it just during the pandemic? Because they've written all kinds of letters and Instagram posts and tweets and private emails, how they've been inspired by it and they look forward to it. And if we're not on, which is very rare because we've done almost 500 episodes live 7 days a week, that they go into withdrawal. And that's such a beautiful thing to hear. Levity withdrawal. That's such a beautiful thing to hear. And it makes a world of difference. There's somebody here before we head out. There's somebody here that is my sidekick, and he usually appears at the end of the episodes. And he just wanted to, send you his best. And he said that you knocked it out of the park tonight, kiddo.
Oh, thank you,
George Burns in the house.
George Burns.
Yeah. There he is. Yes. That's the reaction we always aim for.
Fabulous.
Isn't it great? He's got a cigar and everything.
It's perfect.
Yes. He said you knocked it out of the park, kiddo.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Burns. A pleasure.
And of course, he played God in the movie as well. So God's on your side as well.
Yes. Does he have like a string in the back where you pull and he says "Good night, Gracie"?
No, he's actually on a pedestal. It's like a collector's.
Fabulous.
It's a full doll. It was my aunt's. She collected dolls, and it got passed down to
it.
me. And it came out in a limited form when he turned 100. It was a commemorative situation. So technically, he's supposed to be in a plastic and like in a box and the whole thing. But we brought him on last year for the show, and now he's become part of the situation.
I love it.
But we have a lot of we've got the I Jimmy Genie bottle here. We've got Gilligan from Gilligan's Island here. We've got Casper. We've got all these casts. Some of them are over here down below. Cast characters that add some flavor to the show as well. So
I love it.
And this was really terrific. I hope that you enjoyed the show and time with me as much as I have with you, and the show met whatever expectations that you had, Adam.
I feel the levity.
Perfect. That's what we love. Spread the word about it, and keep us posted on everything you're doing, and we'll make mention of it on the show. We'll keep the porch light on for you too, so you can come back again. And hopefully in the city, we'll be able to get together at some point and break bread, which would be really cool. Because again, we know so many of the same people.
So many.
It's a very small world. It's a very small world, but it was really, really cool. And again, I hope you had as grand a time as I had, Adam.
I very much did. Thank you so much for having me.
And your website?
AdamBShapiro.com.
Fantastic.
Because my tagline is, if there's no B, then it's not me.
I love that. You take care and be well, my friend. And again, thanks for being with us on the show. It was really a pleasure. Spread the word about our show. We would love that. That means a lot. And we'll see you again soon, okay?
Absolutely.
Stay healthy, stay blessed, and keep knocking them dead.
You as well. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, take care, all right?
You too.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Adam B. Shapiro here on the Jim Masters Show. So good to have you here with us as well, coming to us from New York City. And we had a great conversation, got a chance to learn about his career, his passions, his early beginnings in Indiana, USA, and the heartland there in the Midwest. And really, really cool. Really, really happy to have him here on the show. And again, if you saw Fiddler on the Roof in Yiddish, it was absolutely incredible. You know what I'm talking about. If you hadn't, maybe if it does come back at some point, you get a chance to see it. Really, really fantastic. Of course, actor, singer. We were talking about his new album as well, Let Love In. Again, you can find that on all the usual platforms. And it was just great to have him on the show and to talk about life and passions and career. That's what we do here on the Jim Master Show, live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. We don't just do interviews. This is an entertainment lifestyle variety talk show where we bring you in interactively from around the world, and we always have a good time. And the guests literally come from all walks of life. And even the shows where I pop up and we do a pop-up show and maybe we don't have a guest, where it's just you and I, and we do our host lovity chat sessions, or we take you on location, or we do special themed episodes of JMS. They're really, really cool. And it's always a pleasure to have you with us as well. So again, gang, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, we would absolutely love that. And click the notification bell so you never miss any of our episodes of our incredible series. And again, it's close to some 500 episodes you can binge watch. I know a lot of you love to binge watch our series, and we love you for that. Spread the word, share the lovely, share the links on your social media for our episodes. Many of you have been doing that, and we thank you for that as well. And leave a comment on our YouTube channel underneath this episode and give us a thumbs up. We would love that as well. Thanks for being with us, everybody. We appreciate you. Thanks for all the great comments in chat. We appreciate that as well. And we'll be back with another great episode right here of the Jim Master Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Spread the word and check us out again on all the other social media. You can find me, Jim Masters TV, on Twitter, Instagram, and of course, Facebook, and our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. For all of us here, thanks for being with us. We love you all. We love all the support and the excitement about the Jim Masters Show live, and we appreciate all of you as well, whether you watch the shows live or later in the archives, whatever it may be. Know that you are appreciated and you are valued greatly. So thanks for being with us. You take care. We thank Adam Shapiro for joining us as well. And we thank you and you and you and you. You take care. We'll see you on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show right here for you on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Cheers.